What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, you're watching 4K Motoring, and today we're going to begin a project that's kind of vehicle related, kind of not. We've mentioned in our past videos, some of our garage lighting is kind of unsatisfactory, especially for doing projects in the garage, doing things at night in low light. I work every other month at night, so it's nice to be able to, do stuff in my own garage at night. But with this lighting, it's become very hard to do so, and I really needed an upgrade. I went ahead and looked on Amazon and found a couple different options for garage lighting. A lot of the hexagon-shaped lights were pretty cool, and there's quite a few of those becoming popular. I know with the detailing community, it creates really nice reflections and kind of a nice, interesting pattern. There's lots of stuff like that out. My garage is a small two-car garage. So it is a two-car garage, but it's not exceptionally big in any dimension, really. I was looking at one of those hexagon-shaped lighting kits, and they were all somewhere between $500 and $1,000. And definitely they'd be more light than the little light I have now. All I have at this point is basically 4 fluorescent tubes all in one fixture, and then a single LED light in the garage door opener, and that's the extent of the light in the garage. Now, I'm not too upset about the light being back there, especially with the garage door being open, because that would block any roof-mounted stuff, but I decided I needed a little bit more. What I found actually on Amazon for right about $200 was this Barina T8 kit. It came with 10 of these 8-foot LED tube sections that are insanely bright by themselves. So I've got 2 of them hooked up currently to each other, just sitting on the floor, and we can already see the amount of light that they're giving off in this room. Everything has gotten brighter. I've gotten brighter. The reflection is pretty amazing, and that's from bulbs laying on the floor. There are 10 of these bulbs in this kit that I'm going to be able to put up in the garage. I don't know if I'm going to need all 10. I might have a couple I saved for reserved ones. But we're going to start working on that to see if I can get actual usable light in this garage. That way I can actually do some work at night and hopefully bring you some better videos. When we look at the light strips themselves, we can see it's angled LEDs. So you've got 2 strips, 2 rows that are both angled outward. A decent aluminum backplate, plastic construction. We've got plugs on both ends. And in the kit, they've given us a couple ways to wire these up. We have a couple of these actual 3-prong plugs with switches. So you can actually wire a bunch of these up by themselves into different outlets and turn them on as needed. That could be really cool for a detail shop. It comes with direct plugs in here. So you can plug one stick directly into the next stick. That way you can just have a long chain of them. That's possible. It has all the metal mounting brackets that don't look super fancy, but they look like they will get the job done. And then we're going to have a couple of these, I believe they're 4-foot, and they're just connect light to light, as well as another couple that are hardwire kits. That way you can just hardwire a light directly into an existing wire source like that. This camera I'm using actually has pretty good exposure. As we can see, all the light is behind me and you're still able to see my face pretty well with all just the backlighting. So that gives you guys a bit of a skewed perspective on how bright this garage is right now. It is really pretty dim. We can't really see inside the car. If I'm working on the car, I can't see much when it comes to the front of it. It's just big shadows. It's not quite as bright as it seems on camera. I wanted to make note of this because right now, all the light that I could possibly have in this garage is on. I've got the fluorescent overhead lights, they're on, and I've got the LED light, single bulb, that is on. And this is how much light I have. The LED light strips that I'm getting ready to install allow you to connect up to 5 lights to one circuit. So one plug or one wiring, 5 of them will connect together, and that's what the instruction says is still safe to do. They don't recommend any more than that. We have 10 bulbs, so we're going to end up doing probably 2 circuits. What I'm probably going to end up doing is taking that fluorescent light down. The wiring that's from that already, I'm going to convert to a double plug socket and then just wire up all the lights I need from there. But to illustrate the point, I've got 5 of these lights connected, sitting on the ground, so taking that into consideration, it's not going to light up the room like it would be ceiling mounted. But just to get an idea of how much light these things put out, I'm going to go ahead and turn them on. Mind you, the lights in the garage are staying on right now, so we'll see how the exposure in the camera handles this. But if we're ready for it, on 3, 2, 1. I don't know if you guys could tell a difference, as the camera probably adjusts pretty fast, but just looking around the garage, the amount of light that's being put upward is pretty astonishing. And this is just half the lighting that this kit came with. So I'm going to go over and turn off the existing garage lights just to see how much is really left. Now we have the garage lighting off. The stuff that's been installed in the house, the stuff that I've been using is off. And we have our couple lights just hanging out on the floor, shining upward, illuminating the room. And I think at this point, we're already, if these were in the correct place, would be a brighter overall light than I had previously. Well guys, it's now been a couple hours. I have done a little bit of work. I've got half of the lights now installed. As we can see up above me here, that's 5 of these light bars, 5 of the 8-foot light sections installed. And I've got to say, the garage is already significantly brighter than it was before. Now, there are some advertised specs online. You guys can check out the advertised lumens and watt drain. It's pretty impressive for the amount of light it puts out, how little energy it uses, which is typical of LEDs. These have a bunch of little LEDs. They're not super bright by themselves, not like, you know, big powerful LEDs by themselves, but there's so many of them packed so close together. You get a lot of very diffuse light, so it's great for big room coverage like this. As you guys can probably see already, it's a big improvement. I can't wait to get the rest of this done. We'll keep working. Link will be down below in the description if you're interested. Let's finish up. And we are done. Check it out, guys. See how bright it is in this garage? It is now about 2 a.m. and it's like it's broad daylight here in the garage. That was my goal, and I'm very happy with how these turned out. I was a bit concerned that the 10 lights would be a bit too much, but as it turns out, they're not quite as bright as I thought they'd be individually. At least the light's not as focused. So having 10 actually fits this garage quite well. 2-car garage, a small 2-car garage. These 10 lights, I think, is a very adequate amount of light. Still have some loose ends to tie up as far as the wiring goes, getting it all hidden, getting it put together properly. That's going to come here in the next day or so when I get it all finished up. But overall, everything's hung and it's placed, I think, in an appropriate way. I was a little concerned I wouldn't know exactly how to place the 10 to get the most light, but I think this makes sense. It gives me good light. When I have the garage door up, I still have good light. I have light on my workbench over here, that whole toolbox area. So I think that's exactly where I need it. As for the price, I think it's really hard to beat. For $200, getting all this, you get all the connectors, all the brackets, the lights themselves. To get the 10 actual 8-foot light strips that seem pretty well put together. They're very light, mostly plastic, but they are pretty well made from the best I can tell. These are the upgraded ones that apparently some of the older ones had cheaper electronics inside, and they would actually interfere with your garage door opener and that sort of thing. These do not do that. These are a little bit higher quality than that. They've been revised from previous generations, so they're good to go as far as garage usage. Again, about $200 on Amazon. I'll put the link below. They've turned out quite well. All the connectors, all the brackets, all the hardware is all included in the package. Have a couple of different variations, like I showed you, of ways to connect them and mount them. So overall, I think this is an awesome setup. Now, if you are doing some more detailing work, they make some 4-foot section of these as well. That might be good for, you know, a wall section or something to get some side light. Would be a pretty cool thing, and that might happen kind of in the area where I keep the car and work on the car. I might get a set of those because that could be a cool little addition. But otherwise, I think they turned out well. I hope you guys enjoyed the extra light. I think it's going to make nighttime videos a little bit easier for me, and I'll be able to put out a little more content. We have a lot of projects on the horizon for this summer. I appreciate you guys watching 4K Motoring. Stay tuned, we're definitely going to have some more. If there's any questions you have about this lighting, let me know. If you guys have done any different garage lighting or found any cool tricks for garage lighting, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear some different ideas to keep light in here at all hours of the day. Definitely going to have some more projects soon. Appreciate you watching. This has been 4K Motoring, and we'll see you next time.